Hello YouTube, Bookham Dano here. I just wanted to do a quick video and talk about Rebirth a little bit. I've really been enjoying a great many of the stories in Rebirth. Of course, I'm partial to Batman and Detective Comics, but I think a lot of the other stories have been holding up really well. Aquaman in particular. Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman storyline. Really enjoyed Super Sons. But I have to say, there's one detail that DC does not seem to be able to get right, and it's such a... I mean, it'd be such an easy thing to fix, and it's something that I would have known when I was like in third grade. I just can't believe they don't have, somebody's kid on the staff isn't pointing out this glaring error. But it really, it bothers me because it's such an, there's no reason for them to get this wrong. And what I'm talking about is the military ranks. And it's across the board. Whenever there's military involved in a Rebirth story, they have gotten the ranks wrong in at least some cases. So, for example, in Suicide Squad, all right, very first issue, about the third page in. What do we have? Sir, this is Colonel Rick Flag, Navy SEAL. No. There are no colonels in the Navy SEALs. All right? If you are a Navy SEAL, you are by definition in the Navy. And hence, you have a Navy rank. The Navy does not have colonels. All right? He would be a captain. That is what an 06 is in the Navy. I don't understand this. The ranks have been around for hundreds of years. And there's nothing new here. It's not like they missed a memo from the Pentagon that changed the ranks last week and they just missed it. Similar thing in Aquaman. This is Aquaman number 14. So we're well into the run. I don't know if you've been following Aquaman, but there are this unit of aquamarines that are, here we go. There's like the secret government, U.S. government project. So they take these Marines and genetically modify them, and they can be, these kind of aquatic creatures. My finger out of the way here. And then the U.S. government sends them after Aquaman. Here we go again. They've clearly stated that these are U.S. Marines. Combat team led by Major Rhonda Rico, U.S. Marine Corps. That is correct. The Marine Corps has majors. Specialist Marcel Ollie Stone. No. The Marine Corps does not have specialists. The Army has specialists. All right. It's an E4 rank that is not an NCO, non-commissioned officer. The Marine Corps only has one E4 rank. It's a corporal. All right. If you're in the Marines and you're an E4, then you're a corporal. And you are a non-commissioned officer. So Sergeant Dean Toye, Orca. Okay, sergeant is fine. In the Marine Corps, a sergeant is an E5. There are, of course, several ranks of sergeant. Sergeant, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant, first sergeant, master sergeant. First sergeant and master sergeant are both E6s. All right. They are equivalent ranks, but depending on your MOS, you become either a first sergeant or a master sergeant. MOS is military occupational specialty, so the job you have basically in the Marine Corps. So in the Army, they're a little bit more relaxed about that. If you are an E5 to an E8, maybe even certainly up through E6, or I'm sorry, E8, you can be called sergeant and nobody gets upset. In the Marine Corps, they're very particular about it. If you call somebody a sergeant and they're a staff sergeant, they're going to say, no, I was promoted. I'm a staff sergeant. Sergeants are a level below me. Same thing with a gunnery sergeant or a first sergeant. There's like three characters, two characters here that are sergeants that I can see. There's three specialists. The specialists are wrong. We've addressed that. The sergeants could be correct, might not be. Just depending if they're E5s, then it's correct. If they're E6, E7, E8, that is not. So those are fairly minor characters, certainly with the Aquamarines. Colonel Flagg, appears in lots of different issues. Wonder Woman. Steve Trevor. All right. Obviously, back in the day, Steve Trevor was in the Air Force, and he was an officer because he was a pilot. The Air Force does not have enlisted pilots. All right. The Army and the Marine Corps have what's called warrant officers. All right. Those are people that are enlisted, that have gone through a special program. They're the warrant officer program, and then they can be pilots. They're usually helicopter pilots. But to be a pilot, in general, in the Air Force, the Navy, the Marine Corps, you are an officer. All right? Steve Trevor goes from being in the Air Force to being in the Navy. He's like a Navy SEAL now. But he's not an officer. He's like a Master Chief, which is a high enlisted rank. But it doesn't come with, it's a serious demotion down from a colonel. So, that would be fine. But then they call him Mr., like that's his title. I don't believe that's correct, that you can refer to an enlisted person as Mr. That's Mr. is like an official Navy term. You see it in like the Star Trek movies. Mr. Spock, Mr. Sulu, set the course, that's, he could have said Lieutenant Sulu, but, Mr. is an acceptable way to address an officer, with respect. So, like when I read that Suicide Squad story, it's like on the second or third page, and, this is Colonel Flagg, Navy SEAL. No, it makes me, it just takes me completely out of the story, because I'm like, did they not have somebody proofread this? And of course, I just showed these examples. These are several writers, many different characters and storylines. So I don't understand why DC can't get this right, because I really enjoy the stories, but it's so distracting to come across a detail that would be easy for any fifth grader to get right, that they screw up. So DC, I love you, but you know, be happy to consult on this and get your ranks correct. All right. Thanks for watching, YouTube.